So we've been working on this Paludarium build for quite a while now, but today's video we're going to be doing all the fun stuff. We're going to be finishing this off, planting it out, adding the substrate and getting it looking natural. Yes, roomies, welcome back to another video and thanks for joining me. So as you've probably guessed, and from the intro, we're going to be finishing off the Five-Belly 2 Paludarium today. Now we're going to be fully planting it out, adding the substrate, getting the filter running, the waterfall going, we need to put some sand in the front and work out how it's going to look. I want to add a little bit more extra detail, but enough of me waffling on. You've been waiting long enough for this build to be finished. Let's just crack on with today's video. Okay, so we've added two more bits of driftwood on there, which are just going to give it a bit more detail. And I was going to add them after I planted, but I thought it'd be easier to do it this way. Now I've seen a technique I use, which is traditionally used in aquascaping. So you can use cigarette filters, you can use cotton wool, filter foam. There's loads of different things that you can use. But that should be rock solid now. So on to the fun bit. So we've got all our plants here. We've got some Boston fern here. We've got some Petunia. I've got some big ones so I can split them up. We've got an asparagus fern here, and then we've got some aquatic and terrestrial mosses. So this is cushion moss. This is a terrestrial moss, and then we've got 2 Taiwan moss, and then I think 3 Java moss there. So those will go on the terrestrial parts as well, but I'll have to make sure they stay wet like I do in this setup. Now, also the other day I popped out and you might see some plants resting in there, which are the Mondo grasses there, but they were submerged in water, so you can see one that's established there, which will turn a bit more like that once it's out of the water. So we've got those as well. So hopefully we can make this one look a bit more like this one. So I thought we'd stop it there. We've added a few plants. Now I want to add the substrate in and I want to start adding the moss on. So I'm going to carry on adding plants now as I see the places that need it, because it's taken up a lot more space than I thought as usual. So I probably bought too many plants, but I want to make sure it looks as nice as I can. So I'm going to use some materials now I haven't used before. So this is Terra Tape. This is by Dua or ADA. So this basically acts like a wick for moss. So if I want to put it in areas such as that piece of driftwood going across the waterfall there, it's going to stay out of the water. So this will then allow it to suck up the water, keep the moss completely moist. So we should have a nice green area there. And as always, I'm just going to use some cyanacrylate super glue gel. We've got some aquatic plants, Venuvius, and some various other things I want to add around the hardscape. And I would probably want to add some rocks in areas as well, just to give a bit more detail. So it's getting there, but it's still a little bit of work to be done. So it's looking a lot greener. Obviously it needs to grow in and the moss looks a bit unnatural at the moment, but it's going to cover up that gap. Plus I'm hoping it'll spread along the background. But we've added the aquatic plants, so these are just plants I'd hang around in one of my storage bins. So just some Anubias nana. But I think what I want to do now is move it into its place, get it filled up, and then we can see if there's any more we need to do to it. But obviously before we get it running, I need to drill the lid for the filter and install the filter to get the waterfall going. So still a little bit to get done, but it's looking a lot better. it's been a busy one, but what do you think? I'm pretty happy with it, if I'm honest. They've probably come out a little bit different than I imagined, and it was probably, again, I ordered too many plants, but I think it's looking a lot greener. Obviously, I haven't added any cycled media into the filter yet, so it might go a little bit cloudy at the moment, but I'm gonna be adding the frogs in there tomorrow, as well as the cleanup crew. I'll do a separate video on that, so if you wanna miss out, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But given this is the second time we've done this sort of build, obviously the first one being the other pie-belly toe paludarium, I'm pretty pleased. I'm quite happy with the mosses. First time I've used the terra tape, but I think that's gone okay. I've just made sure that the little ends are dipped in the water, just so the water draws up to the moss. But I'm happy, it's starting to look a lot nicer. Now, there's got a lot of growing in to do because this tank behind me has had 4 years to grow in, and the moss is just spread everywhere, and this is going to need some time, especially with the creeping fig on the back as well. But it's ready for frogs. So we've got the frogs already here, and I'll be adding them in, like I said, in a separate video. If you don't want to miss out on that, then really make sure that you follow along for the ride. But I'll leave a little compilation at the end of this as well, so you can take a better look at this enclosure. But if there's anything you want to know in particular, make sure you hit me up in the comment section down below as always. And I really appreciate it if you can show your support by dropping this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment, share it, whatever you do, I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel anymore, you can go and check out my merch. I've got the fish tank t-shirt on today, but there's plenty of other fish keeping and reptile keeping merch on there as well. Get them in time for Christmas. All the money goes straight back into this channel, helping make more builds like this. More animals, more updates, better filming equipment, and you know how it goes. But I think that's enough of me waffling on for one day. We'll check out the tank a little bit more straight after this, and I'll catch you in the next video.